Okay, I know I've been slacking YouTube pretty hard for the past 3 months, but I just competed in my 4th powerlifting meet, and I think it's a good opportunity to kick back the channel and start with a meet recap and maybe tips and stuff that you may need to know if it's your first meet or if you just maybe competed once, stuff that you can maybe optimize to just get a better total on the platform. Alright, so the main thing that I'm taking away from this meet is that you have to be very, very adaptable in a meet versus just training in your home gym or your regular gym. Because a meet is just one day. It's not like maybe you hit your squat PR in one good session out of 10 singles that you did leading up to the meet. And this is just one day. It's not 10 sessions. You don't have 10 chances to max out or to just have a good day. You have to perform all the 3 lifts, put all 3 lifts on the best performance you can on the same day, and it can be pretty stressful. It can be stressful due to the environment, the speed at which you warm up, other people there, the equipment. Maybe you're just not used to calibrate a place or a stiffer bar. All of the things can really make a difference when it comes to competition. You may not hit anywhere near close your actual maxes, especially if you're pretty advanced. So the first thing that happened in the meet was one of my athletes was going to be handling me for the meet, and at the last minute he told me he had a personal issue, so he couldn't make it to the meet, so I had to basically handle myself all the way through the meet. Luckily I was in the morning flight, and the afternoon I had my guys competing there, so I wasn't worrying about anyone else, but still it's nice to have someone, even if you're experienced. So I competed 4 times in weightlifting, 4 times in powerlifting now, and even if you have experience, it's nice to have someone taking some stress off you, like telling you when to warm up, when are you going, telling you a second opinion on where should you jump for your next attempt, although you of course had to have that plan. So squats went decently well. I started with 177.5 kilos as an opener. That was pretty easy, and that's the idea, that's how an opener should move. Then I jumped up to 190, which moved very well as well. And I was pretty confident I had 200 in me. If I had to pick a safer bet, I would have gone with 195.7 kilograms, which I know it was there, and as you see in the video, it would have been there because 200 was a very close call. But I just wanted to hit the 200. I have been dealing with a ton of knee issues for the past 2 years, and squat has been very tough on me. Besides just being too tall, having issues with your knees and not being able to squat regularly is a pain in the ass. So 200 wasn't there. It was a good fight. When I unracked the weight, I honestly thought I had it. So it was not like a confidence. It was not like I didn't fight and grind. I did my best, and it just wasn't there in the day. Bench was pretty interesting. So bench is usually the most complicated out of the 3 lifts in competition because you have the most commands, you have the most different equipment things. So when squatting, you just have, well, plates and barbell. When benching, you have that added to the bench and to the floor, because the floor can be slippery, as it was in this situation, and that can lead to issues in the bench. So I opened with 137.5 kilograms. I was going to open with 140, 142, but I decided to keep my opener back because of this stuff, and luckily I did. So when I unracked it, they had me hold it for around 10 seconds, and then they told me to re-rack because my heels was slightly elevated. So I had to re-rack the weight, unrack it again, place my feet further, so I was pretty uncomfortable doing leg right there. So it was pretty much like an upper body lift. I didn't have too much aid for my legs. I only had 15 seconds to complete the lift, so I got it, but I have an up and down motion, so I had to retake the lift. Then I retake it in the second attempt, and it seems that I jumped the press command. I never actually heard it. I got 2 white lights, but then they called me up to the table, and they explained that someone shouted at the same time I pressed. So they took that as a mistake of like confusion, and they made me retake my second again. So I retook my second at the end of the round. I got it pretty easy, so that's my 3rd time. My 4th time actually unracking my opener, my 3rd time pressing it. This is pretty easy lift because those are kilograms that I can handle any day. I hit 150 twice in the gym, so 137.5 was not that bad. I went up 5 kilos to 142.5, and that was around RP 9.5 maybe there was something more in the tank. I was pretty fatigued, the equipment was trash, it's very different to what I use here. So that was that, you have to adapt and that's it. So bench wasn't the best, but I adapted to the situation. I got 7.5 kilos less than what I hoped for, but that's the meat, that's what happens. Deadlifts came along, and a fun fact, I never actually made my third on deadlift because maybe it's because I'm very tall, maybe it's because I do conventional, maybe it's because I fatigue pretty hard on deadlifts. But usually after usually your second attempts are around an RPE 8, let's say, right? 8 or 9. When I hit a single around 8 or 9 RPE on deadlifts, I'm done. I have nothing more left in me. So I used to put my deadlift attempts as if it was like a squat or a bench, but for my deadlift, for instance, I just cannot do that. So if maybe I used to know right. I've seen a ton of taller lifters who pull conventional that have the same issue, that a semi-heavy single just fries them out, and they have to just have to adjust your attempts differently as if you were for your squat or your bench. So as opposed to my last meet a year ago, because I couldn't compete due to the pandemic, I started with 210. That was like RP 0. Like literally, I can do like 5 or 6 reps with 210. Then I went up to 225, but funny thing happened. One of my guys came along to the meet, and I got kind of distracted talking to him between my first and second attempt, and I left my belt otherwise in another place. So when they called me up to the platform, I knew that I realized that my belt was not with me. There was just not enough time to go get my belt, so beltless PR 225 was decently easy, but harder than it should be because I forgot my belt. So I just did like a 10 kilo jump because I wanted to get my third attempt in deadlifts. I wanted to boost my total because squat wasn't there, bench was meh. So I did 235. It went up like an RPE 8, so I should have gone like 240 or 242.5, which was the goal. But again, that's the missed circumstances that wouldn't happen for me if I was training in my home gym with my guys at my own pace. If I was about to take a lift and I forgot my belt, I just went out and put it up. But when you're in a competition, you just don't run at your own pace, and that's the beauty, because if it was as easy as doing your lifts in the home gym and just emailing your attempts, we would all be strong and we wouldn't be going to competitions. That's the same for everyone, and you just have to adjust, and that's the maturity that you have to have when you're competing. You're maybe just not going to live up to the standards that you have in training, and that's okay. You may or you may not, and that's just part of the meet. In the afternoon, I have 3 of my guys in the team. They perform all very, very well. One of them got a national record twice in squat, and they all have, the other 2 guys were competing for the first time. They both really enjoyed the competition. So yeah, that's that, and it was overall a very, very good day, and just stuff to learn. Maybe try to train with equipment close to competition. For us, it's very difficult because we don't have many powerlifting gyms here, so we just have to make with what we have. Ideally, yeah, if you're preparing for a competition, using like the competition equipment is very important, and you're going to really benefit from that. The more advanced you are and the more extreme your technique is, the more you'll benefit from that. Meaning, if you're a beginner who squats high bar and benches close grip or pulls conventional, maybe you're just not going to feel any difference. If you're a more advanced lifter who squats with a very low bar position, or a very wide grip bench like a Sean Noriega style, or a very wide sumo deadlift like Sean Noriega, then you're going to really feel the difference, because the flex in the bar is different, the weight distribution is different, the bar grip is different, the bench are different, the floor, all of the things really play a role. So just a thing to know, that if you're training for a meet and you're a decently advanced lifter, then training with equipment is very important. So, okay, so that's pretty much it. That was the meet. If you have any questions, please leave it down below. I will answer every question, of course, for sure. And if you have the kindness of leaving me a like, I really appreciate that. And I will see all of you in the next video. Thanks for watching.